makeover furniture and give it a new lease on life, and occasionally change the purpose of it altogether, which is what I did for today's makeover. My name is Sarah and welcome to 445 Designs. It was originally the top of a Hutch, and the person that I got it from on Facebook Marketplace didn't want it anymore, and when I saw it I knew immediately that it was the piece that I needed for this job. I have a client that was after a bookcase to house an old book collection, and this was going to be perfect. So today's makeover is that, making over this Hutch into a bookcase. It doesn't have glass in it. It does have glass. The glass is downstairs in a safe spot. I didn't want it to get broken. This was really good to transform into a bookcase. Maybe it's something that you could do at home, following, you know, some of the tips and things that I do to transform this one. So I hope you enjoy the video. I have an inspiration photo that I'll put up for you guys to see what I'm aiming for. The photo is a little more mid-century modern. I definitely want to keep the character of this piece with the trim up here and the trim along the bottom, the sort of the older look and feel of it. I definitely want to keep that, but we're going to also bring it into 2021. I'm going to be painting the body of this that deep blue, and we're also going to do the inside walls and the floor, but the back of it we're going to leave, because like the inspiration photo, I want to wallpaper the back of it. Yeah, I'm so excited about this piece. Let's get started. This piece had glass shells in it, and I'm going to be replacing those with wood shells. And so how they put the brackets in was by stapling. So I have to remove all the staples. This will be fun. All my pieces, I have dusted it down, and now I have mixed TSP in with warm water. Wearing gloves, and I'm wiping all the grime off. My Ryobi Orbital sander. It's cordless. I really love it. It's a great sander. Won't be able to get into the corners that don't have a detailed sander. I'm going to use my sanding block. Just remove the pad from my Orbital, stick it right on here. That's why I love this thing. It's got Velcro. I talk about it every video so far, but because I love it that much. And then get into all the corners and scuff it up. I want to get rid of all the shine, give the primer something to adhere to. For me, I'm going to remove the back. I need to put shelf brackets in the piece, and I just feel like having the ability to go in through the back or in through the front easy on me. So that is what I'm doing, and I'm just prying the staples up really easily. Top. Alright, so I have the piece standing upright. Now what I want to do, as you can see here, this is where the glass used to rest, right? Along there and along and all the way along here was that piece of wood that I hammered off. Got rid of that piece of wood because I want wood all the way across there. So in order for that to happen, I need to do a couple of one here, and on the opposite side. So the wood has something to rest on at the back. I'm going to take my piece of wood, I'm going to butt it up against the existing piece right there, just to get a measurement, an accurate measurement. And I've drawn a line. Whoop. There we go. I've drawn a line right there, so I know where I need to cut. Safety goggles. I cut my two pieces. I just want to sand all the fuzzy bits off. Technical name. I am going to be using my nail gun, but even if you don't have a nail gun, it's not like, don't rush out and buy a nail gun. Hammer and nail will work just as well, but I have a nail gun and it's fun, so I'm going to use my nail gun. How many times can I say the word nail gun? I put the wood that I'm going to be nailing, and I get the brad nails. If I was to nail these in, they come protruding out the other side of the wood. So, oops, my 2-inch brad nails are too long and my 1-inch are perfect. I'm going to glue and clamp right here, and before I staple it, I'm going to, with my level, make sure that it's straight. There's nothing worse than a wonky shelf. I have a little cheat because it's a bit lighter here where the old shelf used to be, so I kind of know where it sort of needs to sit. So I want to make sure all my bubbles are in the right spot. Still checking. Yep. They're good. Now the clamp is just holding it there for me while I nail it. Done. And now I need to do that 3 more times. So I tinted the primer with the paint that I'm going to be using. Paint that I got from Lowe's yesterday. It's close to the color the client wants, but not quite close enough. So yesterday I went and got some black, and we're going to be mixing some paint this morning. So I've got my 1 quart container with a lid because I'll probably need to do at least 2 coats, so I need to mix enough that it will do 2 coats. Here we go. You should never be afraid to mix paint, as long as they're both water-based, the 2 colors that you're missing, as long as they're both water-based colors or oil-based. This is water-based, this is also water-based, and it's just a pure black. And I'm going to add it to my mixing container. I always like to get that paint out of the outside, because yesterday I forgot to do that and I went to put the lid back on and I hammered it and I squirted paint in my face. It's not a fun experience, don't do it. Alright, next, black. Now paint always dries darker, so I don't want to add equal amounts of black, but I'm just going to keep going until I get a colour close enough to what I'm after, and I know it'll dry a smidge darker. You can see that. That's getting closer. Yes, that's better. More. That's the colour we started with, and now that's the colour I've ended up with. Piece ended up taking 3 coats of paint. I've also popped the doors back on. I have done a first coat of poly on it. I don't need to paint anything else. So this is the top, and we don't want to look down into that, so I purchased a piece of edge glued panel. It was my best option. I wanted a nice clean edge. I didn't want to just stick a piece of ply on top of that, and I'm going to cut it down to size. I've got to cut about 6 inches off of it, and I also purchased, same deal but smaller in depth, for the 2 shelves that are going to go in there. I'm going to stain those in special walnut, and these are the legs that we ended up deciding on. Just got these from Lowe's. They're 7-inch, it says Artisan leg by H&P Wood Turnings. So Lowe's has a whole bunch of options. Alright, let's get started. Tape it up so it doesn't splinter, but you know, he's a carpenter. Lots of carpenters. It's a carpenter trick. Pretty happy with that. So I pre-drilled, countersunk, and then put screws in, one here, one there, one there. And then, as you saw, I put brad nails rather, around the perimeter, and I also put glue. That sucker is not going in. We've decided on Minwax Special Walnut. Stained this, and I've already put a top coat of satin, and in between I just like to get the fine steel wool and I go over the top of it. Steel wool doesn't damage the finish. Just going to get all the little particles that settled in the poly while it was drying. It's the very last thing that I have to do. I'm going to be wallpapering the bag. It's going to be a whole lot easier to wallpaper with it laying down. Don't want dust on here. So what I have done is I have just tested out the corner. I've sprayed a little bit here. I'm happy with the adhesion. I'm going to be using my Gorilla spray. This stuff for lining drawers or lining the back of bookcases, it's perfect, I think. What I've done is I've taken my wallpaper, I have rolled it all the way out. I know how much I needed, so I cut along there, and I want to do it in sections. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to spray this section and spray the paper, let it get tacky for a minute, and then lay it down and flatten it out with putty knife thing. I never know what this thing is called. To turn the camera off so I could find a close enough match. There's not an exact match. On like flowery wallpaper or whatever, you usually can find a repeating pattern. I can't really find one, but I found one that is close enough. Now we want our edges here, right, where my finger is, to meet. See? No gaps. I'm going to roll it up this way and then roll it down and then that way. Now we're cooking with gas. Here we go. Wait, I forgot the legs. I thought I was done. I'm gonna lay it down, put the legs on, and then I'm done. Okay, so consulted a professional on this, and my dad says that as long as these guys are flush with the surface, when you screw them in, your piece won't fall over. So let's have a go. So what did you think? Let me know below in the comments what you thought of this transformation. As you can tell by the smile on my face, I really love it. It was stretching and challenging, and not in a bad way, just in creative thinking about what to do with the legs and with the top and that sort of thing. But you know, for the most part it was pretty straightforward. I have a basement full of furniture. Most of it is furniture that people have donated to me that they just didn't want anymore, which I'm happy to take and make more videos for you guys. I hope to see you on another video very soon. Bye guys.